With the anniversary passing, I feel like I should update sort of like this list of must-have characters that new players should aim for. With every new anniversary, some new players are, bound to be coming into the game and a little lost with the large roster of characters. So I'm going to be talking about here the must-haves for, I'll say, each game mode. I will prioritize the main content of the game and we'll divide it by sections. So starting with the must-have PvP characters, I will select from, the teams that are currently dominating. It doesn't mean that they're going to dominate forever, but, they're going to dominate for a little while now. And with new updates, some teams are going to prevail and some teams are going to be spat out the meta. But for now, these are the characters you should be looking for if you want to win. Ascanor is currently up as the anniversary festival, so obviously you should have him. He is, I would like to say, #1 character in the game when it comes to PvP. I feel like it's very difficult to, I think, classify someone else above him. The only other option, I think, is in the discussion is Demon King Meliodas. He, sure, is a phenomenal character, and I think is, again, in the discussion for #1. So these two characters make up, I would say, the current big meta. The Sins team and the Human team. Obviously, Melly being from the Sins team. And if you even want to squeeze in the Demon team, that could work as well. But these two characters are like pillars in the current game for PvP. And to finish off the Sins team, I think Gaffer is a good pickup. He is definitely the weakest link in the Sins team. If a new Sins character comes out as a festival, he will definitely be replaced. So keep that in mind. But of the time being, do we even know if the next festivals are going to be Sins? They might just branch off to a completely different team and then Sins just leaves untouched the way it is. So if Gaffer's in the banner and you pick him up, that's great. And to finish off the Sins team is actually Merlin. Now, Merlin at the very moment in the anniversary, you can actually pick her up in this banner right here. Do I still have it? Yes. This banner over here, you get 14 free multis, and after you complete it, you have the 420 mark here, so you won't get a free Merlin, but for one more multi, you can pick her up. 130 gem multi is probably worth it for this character because she's the best back unit. But if you don't want to have her, if you don't want to spend those 30 gems, a second close best back unit for Sins is actually Percival. Percival is definitely worth getting if you don't want to have that Merlin for some reason, but you still want to run Sins, or you want to have the option to run humans in the future in case you don't have Arthur. If you don't have Arthur, having Percival at the moment is not very great, so I would only wait. I would really only wait to get this Percival character in a returning banner if you are a new player and you don't have Chaos Arthur. Humans are unrunnable without Chaos Arthur at the moment. Where is he? You can, okay, for low tier PvP, sure, but if you're gonna play low tier PvP anyways, you might as well just run Ascanor with Sins. Just never mind the Galfer and you're gonna win no problem, so, what's the point anyways? Once Chaos Arthur is back, that is the moment you can decide, do I want to play humans? Yes, get Chaos Arthur, because who knows what the future will bring, but for the moment, humans has a 3-unit pillar, which would be Arthur, Ascanor, and Percival. But there's a very good chance a new UR Festival human could come out, replace Percival, and put him in the back. I think that is a plausible outcome. With Knights of the Apocalypse being a new thing going on, they could very well make a UR Festival of one of those characters, and some of them are humans, so keep that in mind. Or a UR Festival Ban, which could fit in on both humans and the Sins team, but in this case, we're talking about the human team mainly. A character that I think is worth picking up whenever she comes back is Gelda. She isn't, I would say, in the main meta at the moment, but with how OP she is individually as a unit, there's a very good chance she eventually comes back, so having her for the sake of having is probably very good. Now, sliding into the demons as well, Demon King Zeldris, I think is also worth a pickup. Even though he is not in the current best of the best PvP meta, he is old enough that we can start discussing him getting a Holy Relic, and once he does, very good chance he'll be very, very powerful, and demons might make a comeback with that Holy Relic alone, because having him, Gelda, and then Demon King Melee, that is a very powerful team, just missing like an edge. And that edge could just be that, or a UR Festival Demon could also put that up front. When it comes down to it, the PvP meta is very, very much that. There are some odd characters here and there. I'm not going to include collabs in this video because we don't know even if they're coming back, so there's no point in discussing them. But if you are very hard set in running other teams, not the ones that are the current big meta, unknowns are viable. So Nanashi is a great pickup because he's the best back unit in the game whenever you have his Holy Relic. Holy Relics are later because Demonic Beast battles are a completely different story, right? LR Liz is actually a phenomenal pickup for PvP as well because she's the best back unit for humans. It's weird because she's a goddess, she's not a human, but humans just have no good back units at all. So the best back unit for humans is Percival, really, but a lot of the time you just want to use him in the front. LR Liz has a Holy Relic that gives 15% HP, and that's good enough. But mainly the fact that she's an LR is what pushes her over the edge, because she has really good CC. Unknowns is mainly comprised of collab characters. Yes, Gelda is an unknown, but she's really a demon because of her passive. Hell, I don't think you should summon on a festival banner because of her, but, you know, if you pick her up, it's fine. Unknowns are a very hard sell, I'm gonna be honest. The good unknown characters are collabs. Victoria collab just left. Is she ever gonna come back? Who knows, right? Albedo is a collab. Unknowns, honestly, is not a good team to invest right now. We don't know when or if these collabs are going to return. I will say, though, there is a really good likelihood of unknowns making a comeback with a brand new batch of characters. So instead of investing on the current release characters, I would more so look forward to that, because a, you know, aged version of Tristan could be a festival. You know, Knights of the Apocalypse, like I said, is a possibility of getting festivals in the near future. And Tristan from the Knights of the Apocalypse story, this is not from Knights of the Apocalypse, this is from Seven Deadly Sins, from the last chapter of Seven Deadly Sins. From Knights of the Apocalypse story, he's like 16 or whatever. He is going to be unknown, I assume, because this one is unknown, and he's probably going to be completely different. He could even be a demon character tie-in like Gelda is. But other than that, Bond's child, forgot his name right now, is definitely going to be unknown because it's like a weird mix between human and fairy. He's 100% going to be unknown. So you got to keep that in mind for the unknown team. At the moment, I don't think it's a good investment, but in the future, it most likely will be. Now, PvE has a lot of, you know, diversity. Let's start with Demonic Beasts, because this will cover a lot. So the Demonic Beast characters, they are given out for free very often, actually. When you look at it, let's swap to Ragnarok, because that is the section that's going to make us the best use here. These characters, like, what's her face again? Megelda, Green Brynhilder, Scotty, Jormungandr. They're used for the easier Demonic Beasts, being the bird, the deer, and the dogs, or Red Toner is for dogs. They are given out for free often. So, you know, most likely than not, either you already have them, or in freer as well. Or you eventually get them for free, probably. They are very easy to get, but there are obviously other characters that you'd also need. For Snake, this character right here is good, but she is a seasonal. I would say just having the red version. They both work for the same boss because it's actually the Holy Relic that does it. But For Snake specifically, I'm just gonna assume that you can beat the other three. These three right here. Because they really are so easy if you have the characters, and they're given out for free often. The characters are just listed. Bird, deer, and dogs. If you have any difficulty with them, just look up a video and you'll be fine. They are very easy. You don't need specific characters, you just need those. For Snake, there are a very specific section of characters that can beat it very easily, that you can have your hands on. Like I just said, she's very good with the Holy Relic. I'll say Freya, but Snake is just so odd. The goddess characters are your best bet. So like I said, LR Liz, this is a character for PvE. You want to have her. Right now, she isn't Percival's banner. And as much as I would like to say that something for Percival right now as a new player is not that great, this character is a must-have. So I would honestly just even consider picking her up at the 600 mark. She's just that good. And then Margaret, Red Margaret, is in the current anniversary banner. And she is sort of like the carry for this demonic beast. She's definitely worth having and worth picking up. And then Mael, he's a great festival for this. Currently he's quite bad in PvP, but he could make a comeback for that too. But he will carry you as well. If you can't make the full goddess team, oh, you can also replace Mael for other goddesses. It's not ideal. He's you could actually beat it with Red Sario or Green Sario or Red Tarmiel. Not ideal though. Mael will really carry, or even now you can use Liz because then you can't use DLR. I was gonna say yeah, she's a good unit too, but you know you can't use DLR. In that case, you can also beat Snake with less, I guess, orthodox units. I personally really like using LR Zeldris. LRs at the moment for a new player, I guess, are a little unachievable, so it's a hard sell to say, oh, LR Liz and LR Zeldris. But it is true, it's very great. Demon King Mally should cover that for you, for that beast, so it's not that bad. But a unit that will really help for a lot of PvE engagements is this Green DN, which is also in Percival's banner. Like I said, the Percival banner, the Percival unit is a little bit of a hard sell for a new player, but the Percival banner is loaded with some good characters. They did it on purpose. New players, someone for, you know, the Ascanor Festival, and then someone for the Percival banner, and they can come out with like a really good batch of characters. This DN is huge, and it will help out in that battle a lot. Now for the Squirrel, that is the most specific sort of beast ever, and the team is very hard set. Right now, this is the best team, and changes can be made, but it's super hard, I'm gonna be honest. Without this specific batch of characters, being the last stage is very hard, but you don't need to beat the hardest stage. You don't need to beat floor 3. You could beat it with this very specific team as well. Let me just put the team up. Don't worry about the links, you know, but this team can beat floor 1 and 2, but if you're a new player, even just beating floor 1 is a great achievement. This character was given out for free during the anniversary, so hope you got her. I don't know about King. I don't know. He doesn't come out all that often, but unfortunately, he's really the only option when it comes to this, or this Valenti that I just had on. I don't know when she's gonna come back because she's a sort of recent character. I don't even know where she is. There she is. She's sort of a recent character, but if you do get her, she's fantastic. Oh, actually, you can't run these two. Yeah, you would need... For Valenti, then you don't need the Merlin. You can use... it doesn't have to be LR Glocks, but a character that has bleed. So you could be the king, actually. Yeah. It's an unfortunate beast to beat right now for new players, but eventually you'll get the characters needed. Good as time as ever to mention that in the SSR tickets there are actually a couple of good characters, so I would not advise holding SSR tickets. They barely update this banner. They really do. It used to be... who cares? They barely do. That's the point. So summoning with SSR tickets is worthwhile, and a lot of these pickups are great. Red Tarmiel, you want to have this character max duped as fast as possible. He is the best link in the game. When you link it to a character, that character heals the moment they take damage. It is the best link in the game, bar none. And they released it like years ago, and they probably were very mistaken on even having this in the game. It's so good. Other than him, obviously the other links, they're also great, are here. Oh yeah, we have Nanashi in here. This Green Arthur is a decent pickup for like lower tier difficulty stages. Not very much the higher tier ones. Red Sour is a good link. Blue Tarmio is a okay link. Not even comparable to Red Tarmio, but and you can't run them both at the same time, but you know, it is what it is. I would keep up, you know, dupes of Blue Zeldris to eventually LR him, because he is a very good LR. It's very much a character you want to keep around. Glock's the same thing, he is an LR. I would not use his coins in the coin shop, I would max dupe him as well. LR Escanor, I would forgive at this point. I don't think he's even worth giving the LR, so, you know, it is what it is. Gallant, I would keep him around but not give it to him just in case. He has an LR, but it's pretty bad. The LR could get a good Holy Relic, so we're just waiting for that. And I think the other LRs are all either seasonals or festivals, so they're not here. Bottom line is, there are good characters in here, so I would just dump them. Most of the characters are worthless, but this character, the Blue Elat, is very much worth keeping and max duping as well for some guild bosses. Guild boss, I don't know if it's a thing that a lot of people are gonna care too much as a beginner, but it's worth keeping for the future. This green, it's just red hair Liz, we call her, is worth keeping for some of the fights as well, for some of the demon fights. How's it called? Extermination fights? I forgot how it's called on global. The raids that you summon on the boss stages to get demonic beast. It's not demonic beast. I wanna call them beasts or demons. The raids you get to get materials to level up the characters. She's good for a lot of them, especially if you're not doing hell yet. I'll do a touch on Knighthood boss, even though I think new players shouldn't really worry about this for a while. But there are very specific characters that can be good for Knighthood boss. Mainly characters that give stats, or any character that would say in Knighthood boss, so it's a very specific character for that game mode. The only character outside of that Elat that I would say is very specific for it, that if you do get, that's great, is this Blue Camilla. Now, again, it's a very end game sort of thing, so I wouldn't worry about it too much, but if you do get her, I would not waste the dupes. I would probably keep them just for the future in case you eventually want to become a guild boss player. Most people don't, though. And a small touch on the demon, what do they call it here? Demon Lord. I didn't even know it was called Demon Lord. I just call it a Demon King fight. The Demon Lord fight, it is very, very end game, and the rewards you get are extremely, extremely end game. It's not even worth you know, being worried about it for the moment. But the characters that I already talked about in the video will all cover for this fight. So it's, you know, any of them in the future, once you start tackling it, if you just have these characters, you're going to be good to go. There are a lot of characters in the game, but at the current moment, so many of them have been power crapped. It's not even funny. So even though the list is long, it's not too bad. There are some odd characters here and there that are good for like raid fights. So this red Liz is pretty good for raid fights. She was given out for free during the anniversary, so if you have her, you know, she's good for those raid fights. This Jenna, always forget, I always confuse the two of them, the two sisters, is good for raid fights as well, and she's good for other stuff. Final boss points, she's very great. So it's a character worth having. She is seasonal, so she only comes here and there. So just having her is great. And other than that, I mean, most of these characters either are very easy to get. You're going to be pulling them by accident, really. Or, honestly, they're so worthless, it's not even worth talking about. They're just completely phased out. Look at how many characters there are. And I don't even want to take a moment to talk about them. But that was not as in-depth as I could have gone because I don't want the video to be like an hour. But if you just have all these characters, you're good for the foreseeable future, I promise you.